Hey everyone, Colin Smith here from photoshopCAFE.com, and today I'm very excited. I have the Mavic 3, so we're going to test it out. Now, I just want to let you know, I bought this with my own money, so it was not given to me or sponsored by DJI, so I can say whatever I want, and I will give you my honest feedback, as I always do anyway. So here's the Mavic 3. This is the standard edition. It's not the Cine edition for $5,000. Instead, I got the Fly More bundle for $3,000, which includes the drone, the controller, the charging port where you can charge 3 batteries. It comes with 3 batteries. One of them's already in there. There's 2 there. It comes with the charger, extra little knobs for the controller, 4 pairs of props, USB-C to USB-C, USB-C to mini, and a USB to USB-C. And it also comes with this really good bag. All right, let's have a look at the stuff I've really been waiting for is the drone. And here it is, and here's this amazing little clamp. I think this is really nice because this is gonna make it easy to... Okay, so let's take this clamp off and have a look at this Hassie. Oh, look at that. There's a Hasselblad camera. Beautiful. These arms are thinner, but they definitely go out a lot more. A lot larger than the Mavic 2 Pro. So if we look at the Mavic 2, see how the drone is not necessarily that much larger, but it's got longer arms. You can really see that. And if you've flown some of the more recent DJI drones, you're probably familiar with this controller. It has a nice little bit here that slots out. We can put our phone in there. It's nice. It's not underneath in the way anymore. It's up the top there. And inside here, there's 2 plugs. There's a lightning there for your iPhone, and then it has a USB-C there for your Android phones. And so this comes with new batteries, and the batteries now go in the back again, kind of like the original Phantoms. And one of the nice things about this with the new batteries is also there's a little port at the back. And you can see that's where you put your micro SD card, but also it has a USB-C here. A nice feature is you can actually plug a cable in here and charge this with the battery inserted. So you just plug it into USB cable and you're charging your battery up. So one of the nice things about this is it comes with a set of ND filters. So if we just pop this open, we can see that there's 4 different ND filters here, and they can just snap on the front of the drone. And this enables us to, just keep the nice shutter speed in bright light. But also it can be kind of fun to put a darker ND in there and do a slower shutter speed photograph and get a little bit of movement in water and different things like that. So the thing that really gets me excited about the Mavic 3 is the Hasselblad camera with the micro four thirds sensor, which is larger than the 1-inch sensor on here. The larger sensor means, among other things, better low light. I can get a little bit of the background blur. That biggest sensor actually makes it easier to do that. It's going to give you smoother footage. It's just going to help you overall get just cleaner, sharper footage. We're going to take this out in a minute and test it, and we're going to see if that footage is better. But that's one of the things I really care about. And this also has a dual camera, and it has another camera on the top, which is a zoom camera. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to be using the zoom camera, to be honest. They call it Explore mode. Maybe I'll get some shots of it, but the drawback on that one is it doesn't support RAW. It shoots only in JPEG, whereas the main camera will shoot in JPEG and RAW, and if any serious photographers you want to be shooting in RAW. So as far as the camera, it's a 20 megapixel micro four thirds camera using the Hasselblad Color Science. The camera is designed by Hasselblad, and so is the Color Science. So if it's anything like the Mavic 2 Pro, I just loved the color on here. I'm looking forward to checking this out, the color. So the resolution of the video goes up to 5.1K, which gives you a little bit of room for your 4K if you want to crop it, for different things, get out maybe some prop shadows or different things like that. The other thing that's really exciting about this is it has 4K up to 120 frames per second. So I'm really excited about that, to be able to get the slow motion. Now it's going to be interesting to see how this works on the non-Cine, because the Cine version has a 1 terabyte SSD on board. This one, unfortunately, I feel a little let down on the fact that it's still only 8 gigabytes internal storage, which is pretty useless as far as video goes. You can capture a few photos. It's useful if you've forgotten your card. I do like it when I'm doing bracketed HDRs, bracketed panoramas. It's good because it shoots fast, but I really wish they'd gone bigger, 256 or even 64, but 8 gigs is to me is a little disappointment. I would have paid extra money for the option to have had bigger internal storage, but I don't want to pay $2,000 extra for the Cine drone for that. And also the bandwidth is up to 200 megabits per second, which is really nice. So that should give us some good clean footage on board. Flight time has been boosted to, they claim, 46 minutes, which is really nice. So I'm going to imagine I'll probably get somewhere between 30 to 35 minutes of real time, because when you're flying and accelerating and doing different things, you never get what they say. So now it has 360 degrees of obstacle avoidance. If you look underneath, it has the vision sensors. It also has vision sensors on the top. And these back ones are kind of like fisheye, so they see the side as well as the back, and this sees the front as well as the side. So it creates an entire bubble because it has upward, downward, and so they're claiming that the obstacle avoidance is much better. And in fact, when you're doing return to home, it can look up to 200 meters ahead and map out the terrain. So the obstacle avoidance should be much, much better than it has been in the past. And, we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'll test that today. Another thing is the APAS 5 is going to enable it to do active track, but I see that that's not actually going to be available until January as a firmware update. So we could maybe test that in January. Heading out to the beach right now, and we're going to go for our first flight, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we just had the first flight, and I've got to tell you, I'm really impressed. This thing is super smooth. It's very quick. For what I'm seeing through the viewfinder, though, it's just looking really nice, really crisp. There's a lot of features here. I like the ability to take the camera, and I've got some shots I'm going to show you now where I'm just taking a photo through the regular camera, then I'm going into the zoom, and then I'll zoom all the way in and show you the different shots so you can see how those look. So on the controller, there's 3 different modes we can fly in. One is Cine, and so when you're in the Cine mode, it slows everything down. Movements are very, very slow, and then you get that nice smooth movement. It actually makes it a lot easier to get good cinematic footage than what we used to have in the past. Then of course we've got the normal mode, which is, just medium speed. You fly, you do your normal thing, and of sport mode. So when we kicked it into sport mode, I got it up to 46 miles an hour, and I noticed it flies very, very quickly. The Mavic 2 flew pretty quickly as well, so I'm not seeing a big difference in that. But what I am seeing a huge difference in is ascent and descent speed. This thing climbs and drops much quicker. So I guess it's got to do with the newly designed aerodynamics, because in the past, coming down too quick would cause the drone to just have issues coming down. And I guess with the aerodynamics now, it makes it easier to do a faster descent without losing control. Interesting things about this is when you go into the zoom camera, you go into what's known as explore mode. And it might seem like you're just zooming in on the camera, but what it's actually doing is also controlling the drone. So when you're in that mode and you're moving and you're zoomed in, the movements are more subtle. So you're not zoomed all the way and getting these very, very fast movements that would ruin the shot. Definitely a big update from the Mavic 2 Pro. I don't see myself really wanting any other drone for quite a long time. Very, very happy with this. So it's a nice upgrade from number 2. I think this is going to be my favorite drone. And I've got to call it, what's the name of the, is it Toothless or the name of the dragon? It reminds me of How to Train Your Dragon. You know, the dragon that looks like a fish? That's kind of what it looks like a little bit to me. Maybe I'll name it after that one. Kind of seems like fun. So anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, let me know in the comments underneath. What do you think about it? You got any questions, things you want me to test out, thoughts, whatever, drop those in there. If you're new, welcome to Photoshop Cafe. So if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you got any value out of this or you enjoyed it at all, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And until next time, I'll see you at the cafe. So if you're new to Photoshop Cafe, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, and then you won't miss any of my more videos. Any of my more videos? You won't miss any of my videos. I'm doing great here, aren't I?